Hello YouTube strangers. I wanted to update my mosaic tutorial because my other video, I'm not going to take it down, it still shows the stitches, but the terminology I use is F and B for front and back, and that's been a little bit confusing for a lot of you. So I changed things right away. I only had one pattern out that I had to change. So all of my patterns since then have been double crochet, single crochet, making it a little bit more mainstream, I suppose. That's what more people are used to. Makes it easier for you to remember. I did want to show you though, because it's not just a double crochet or a single crochet. Maybe you're not skilled enough to know, and maybe you are, but I'm going to go over it anyways. If you can see, when you're doing a stitch, you go under the V, right? That's a regular stitch. But for mosaic crochet, every stitch is either going to be in the back loop, that's the loop far away from you, or it's going to be in the front loop down here. Okay, this would be your other front loop. But whenever we do a front loop double crochet, we're going to drop it down. So that's what the confusing part, I suppose, of mosaic can be. And first, if you don't already have a blanket that's being worked on, you're probably going to start with a foundation row. I'm going to show you. You just make a slip stitch, or slip knot, sorry. This is how I make mine. Give it a twist, pull it through and let it go. If your pattern starts with, if you're looking at a chart, let's say your chart has 21 squares on it, you're going to want to chain 21 plus 1 on the end for your joining stitches and 1 on the other end for all your end stitches. So that gets you to 23. You can do your basic chaining, and then of course you'd go back to put your double crochets in, or sorry, single crochets. My foundation rows all use single crochets. I prefer to do the chainless foundation, which is a bit of a misnomer because you start with chaining, but you just do 2 chaining. I think this might be distracting. Let's move that out of the screen. Okay, so I've done chain 2, and then I go into this first one, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over and through, that counts as your chain, and then yarn over and go through 2, that's your single crochet. Okay, so this now, that's the chain that you had made, that's where you're going to go in, pull it up, make another chain, and your single crochet. In here, make a chain, and your single crochet, right? So this is the bottom. This still has the V's just like you're used to. You would just make a row of that. You can cut it off when you get to your desired number of chains. That's what this blue one is here. I made it all the way across. Then the row of white starts with a joining chain. It's the same down here as it is up here, so that's why I'm just going to do it up here. Okay, so your very first spot, that's where you're going to put your joining chain, or joining stitch is what I call it on my patterns. Sorry, I didn't get enough sleep. We're going to call things all sorts of things, aren't we? We make a slip stitch, then you go in that very same hole and make your single crochet, and that's your joining stitch. And you have to alternate your colors all the way up your side here. And then my pattern, I'm on row 8 of the repeats, so it starts with a double crochet. It says DC1. So yarn over, and I'm going to put my double crochet for mosaic. All my double crochets are actually using the loop, the front loop of the same color, but it's a row down, because the double crochet is just covering up to get your pattern. Then it says single crochet 1, and I have to use that back loop. All my single crochets go in the back loop. All my front, or all my double crochets go in the front loop, but one below. So you can see how they line up. I've noticed that it doesn't feel like it's straight. It does feel a little bit slanted. So sometimes when you're counting, either count your stitches down here. So if you had to 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 loops down here. There's 5 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Those all line up to each other. So this one is just going to be down, right under here, double crochet, and it keeps the top nice and even. Then we're going to do 5 single crochets, and you'll want to notice that on the back here, because we used this stitch as a double crochet, this loop is empty. We didn't use it, so we're going to use the next one. Whenever you do a double crochet, you skip that stitch because you don't want to be adding stitches. So we're going to single crochet 5. Let me hold my hook properly. I know some people can do a pencil hold. I am a knife holder. That's 3, 4, and 5. Then it's a double crochet. It's this one, it goes down. And then another single crochet in the back loop, of course. Double crochet is in the bottom one here. There's lots of brackets in this pattern because there's so many repeats, and I found I've actually memorized the pattern by this point, so that makes it fun. Video? I'm still making the video, honey. So this is now single crochet 1, 2, 3, and then a double crochet is down here at the bottom. Okay, so those are how you do your stitches. I do want to show you how you do the end ones. Once you get to all the way to the end, we're just going to pretend like we were here the whole time. Okay, so we're going to pretend, oh yeah, look, we were totally working here. There's a slip stitch to join it. We're just going to go across single. This one would be a double. The end of the pattern ends with another single, double, and then it says ES, which stands for end stitch. And your end stitch, instead of doing the front loops or the back loops, you're going to go under both, just like you normally would in regular crocheting, and do a single crochet, and then also do one more, and then cut here and pull it through. That's how you finish that one off. My tails are a bit long because I'm not confident in my crocheting, I suppose. I have read that you don't really need them to be that long. And then, of course, you can trim them at the end if you want them to be even, or you can put that envelope border on, which I'll show you in a different video. So I hope this video is enough that you can see what it's like to do these stitches. And you can understand that my patterns, double crochet means this, single crochet means something else, joining stitches, end stitches, that foundation border. I hope those are the building blocks. I will try to come up with another video for you guys soon to show you a little bit more. But that's all from me for now. Happy crafting.